We are live on Instagram, and now we are live on YouTube. Welcome. Welcome back, you guys, to our daily live feed. As always, if you would like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing for women. So I'm going to give it a few minutes for you guys to get logged on both platforms here. Welcome. If you are not on Instagram, you can go over on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, stay there. Welcome. Good evening. Yes, good evening. So for those of you that don't know too, one of the reasons why I like YouTube as far as a platform for video better than Instagram is if you get YouTube Premium, you can listen to YouTube while you're doing anything else on your phone. Like one of the things I hate about Instagram is that you have to keep the app up in order to listen to videos and all that. You don't have to do that on YouTube. So if you have Premium, it gets rid of all the ads. It includes music. So when I'm at the gym, I listen to YouTube music. And I also listen to podcasts on YouTube. So it works out really, really well. So it's actually a much more user-friendly platform when it comes to viewing. So that's why we've decided to go back and forth between the two. So tonight's topic, answer all the details matter. Right? Yes, all the details matter. That is the Reader's Digest version right there. I love it. Yeah, we're going to go into that a little bit more because I'm going to kind of dispel some myths and things like that. So just giving it a couple minutes for everyone to get logged on, and then we'll roll right into it. I can't believe it's Thursday already. This week has flown by. Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't gotten anything done between the move and all that kind of stuff. So it's just been crazy. I actually only did cardio today too. I feel weird that I didn't lift. Welcome, guys. So we've got a handful of people on both platforms. If you have the ability to get over onto YouTube, please do so. Yeah, I love the YouTube option as well. We're going to get some more watch hours over on there, more subscribers over on YouTube. So I give it about 3 minutes for everybody to get logged on, and then we start moving into actually discussing this topic. So welcome, you guys. And when you get finished with the live streams, it's a whole lot easier to go and search through on YouTube than it is here on Instagram too. So go to YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're here on Instagram, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, I totally prefer YouTube too. I do too. It's just for me, it's a more user-friendly platform when it comes to videos. So all right, so let's roll into this topic. So I wanted to bring this topic up because I still hear a lot of things that are incorrect when it comes to details on stage, like what really makes a difference and what really matters. Hannah's here. I love it. Yes, YouTube, right? Yes. So I chose the image for the thumbnail on YouTube and the preview here on Instagram for a reason. That was the top 6 at the Arnold, okay? And every one of those top 6 girls looked completely different from the others. They all had completely different colored suits. They all have completely different colored skin tone, hair texture. Everything was different. We had blondes, brunettes, curly, straight, every possible look, pink, blue, red, like every possible color suit, all of these kinds of things, right? Bunch of different ethnicities too, which I thought was awesome. You know, we have Italian, we have French, we have Canadian, we have Norwegian, you know, American. They're all completely different, which I thought was awesome. This is the first time I think I probably could say that really when we're looking at the top 6 from the Arnold for bikini specifically. Completely different, every single one of them. So the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because a lot of times we hear all of these rumors or myths that you have to have a specific look in order to do well on stage. And it's just not true. It's just not true. Look at these girls. Actually, I did watch Ashley's wrap up of the Arnold as well. And she was talking about how she was one of the shortest girls on stage other than Maureen. And Ashley's 5'5". right? We've talked about this before, how girls are typically around that 5'5" to 5'6" range if they're going to do really well on stage. And in this particular show, everybody was over that except for her and Maureen, right? Everybody else was over 5'5" and a half. So my point in saying all of these things is that the details that matter are the details that are going to be specific to you. So one of the things that I don't like when I get competitors that come in to see me is that they say something to the effect of, I want to wear this particular colored suit because everybody's wearing it. Well, guess what? Not everybody is wearing that suit color. You have to wear the suit color that is going to best accentuate you, that is going to best bring out your personality, your coloring, your skin tone, your hair color, all of those kinds of things. Those details matter for you specifically. Okay. Also, posing. Just because one girl can do a certain pose does not mean that you can do a certain pose. Right? We talk about that with Laura Lee. Laura Lee's main pose when she first comes out is what she calls her stallion pose. She just put up a picture of that today, right? The majority of the girls out there cannot hit that pose. It just is not flattering. It's not flattering. But on Laura Lee, it's one of her signature poses, right? So going back to what details matter are the details that are going to best accentuate you and your frame, right? You got to always, always, always remember that. So what are some of the details that you can tell me you know are good for you, but may not necessarily be good for somebody else? May not necessarily be the best solution for somebody else. Go ahead and type in the comments and tell me something that you particularly have that you feel like is a detail that is good for you, but is maybe not good for somebody else. And while I'm waiting for those comments to come in, talk to you about one of our sponsored athletes, Brandi Lewis, right? Brandi hasn't competed in a couple years now because, a year? Has it been a year? A couple years? I don't know. Because of military orders. But when Brandi was competing, we were putting her on stage in a wig. The first time she ever got on stage in a wig when she was working with me, I was not happy with the wig at all. I was like, that completely covered your whole frame. And so we decided the next show to do a shorter, less voluminous wig on her that would better show her shape off so it wasn't covering her up, all of that, right? And then as we kept going, I said, listen, Brandi, she does it with shaved head and she bleaches it blonde. I said, I really think that you should try that on stage. I really think that should be your look on stage, right? And it's completely different from what most people can pull off. Most people cannot pull off a almost shaved head with bleached blonde hair. But I think she can. We've talked to a few judges, and the judges agree. The judges agree. They think it's a great look, and they want to see her on stage with that, right? Yolanda's another one. Yolanda's another one that's gone on stage with a shaved head. Another one of our sponsored athletes. They work great for them. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work great for you, right? I'm quad dominant. I have to hit my front pose in a way that doesn't over exaggerate my quad and take away from everything else. Yeah, and there's, that's a detail that you have to personally do for your physique, right? And there is a big difference between somebody, you're in bikini. There's a big difference between somebody who's quad dominant in bikini and a wellness competitor. There is a big difference, right? You're not a wellness competitor. But if you do have a little bit more development in your quads, we do have to end up posing you a little bit differently so that you don't end up looking like you could cross over, right? So that's a detail that's important to you, right? My walk, putting more weight in my heels instead of the balls of my feet to tone down those quads. Yeah, so your conditioning was a little bit over the top. So in order to correct that, we corrected your walk. That was something that I don't do on anybody. I don't tell anybody to walk with their heels first, but I told you to walk with your heels first, and it worked. It worked for you because we needed to not make your quad split, right? So anybody else, that would have been the wrong solution, right? I don't wear big hair on stage because it doesn't work for me. Yeah, because you have a smaller upper body. So when you wear big hair on stage, it covers your smaller upper body. It actually makes your upper body look even smaller, right? So we have to do a more streamlined look with your hair because that will help to show your upper body a little bit more and help you look more balanced. So there's a detail that's specific to you. Absolutely. Does jewelry matter? Will it hurt an athlete to not wear jewelry? So jewelry does matter. Will it hurt to not wear jewelry? To be perfectly honest with you, I think you'd be better off wearing no jewelry than wearing too much. I'm a fan of wearing earrings, ring, and bracelet. One bracelet. That tends to be about right. Not too much, not too little. But you also have to think about size of your jewelry too. For example, I'm a big girl, 5'9". I can handle bigger, longer earrings and not look like they're going to overwhelm me. Somebody who's 5 foot tall probably can't handle that. Probably can't do the same thing. You have to think about those kinds of things as far as your structure and your size and your frame. And there are judges that will tell you that you wore too much jewelry and it was distracting. That is a thing. That is absolutely a thing. So I think I would rather see you not do jewelry than do too much. I had, one of my fitness girls, she went on stage, forgot to put her jewelry on when she went on stage. She still placed third. Pro fitness. And she still placed third. She got her jewelry. So. I was told my coach, my back is so big, I need to downplay it. Well, in that regard, if your back is big, that's what hair is for. You're doing, I think we're switching to bikini, if I'm not mistaken. You put your hair down your back anyway. So you're good. You're fine. I had my first suit made. Oop, missed it. I had my first suit made. I did not say a word. I let my suit designer choose the color. First word she said was red. She said it just works for me. My skin and my hair. I was so happy. Good. It's my favorite color, but I let her choose. Her expertise in this was better than mine, and I trust her, so red works for me. Yeah, and you know what? Red can be a very good color for a lot of people. It can also be a bad color for people too, depending on the skin tone, depending on the hair color, the eye color, all that kind of stuff. Red can be an okay color, but it can also be a really wow color, or it can be a really meh color too. So a lot of times what the judges will say is they're not a huge fan of red on blondes. Red on blondes can be good. It can be bad too. I've worn it as a blonde and it just kind of blended in. It looked almost like I didn't wear it. Wasn't wearing a suit. There wasn't enough contrast. But I have seen some blondes wear red very, very well. Look at our top 3 at the Olympia in wellness. All 3 of them wore red. It worked great, right? So it's very individual, right? Let's see. How do you think she would have placed higher if she wore jewelry? No, I don't think jewelry made any kind of a difference on placing at all. Yeah, no problem. Everybody has stretch marks. So that's a question. How do you deal with stretch marks? Everybody has stretch marks. Everybody. Every single person on that stage, even the guys, have stretch marks. It's a non-issue. Stretch marks are a non-issue. I watched the competition where the competitor didn't wear jewelry and I didn't even notice her physique was that good. Yeah, there you go. See? Red bold lip looks good on me. There's something that some people can pull off and some people can't, is the red lip. Yeah, that's something that absolutely is a thing that can be a detail that's good for you and not good for somebody else, or vice versa. Yeah, absolutely. Ashley Cotton also wears a red lip. Works great for her. There's some girls that wear a red lip. I'm like, no, don't do that. You look like a hooker. It just depends on the person. That's a detail that matters. When we are looking at a girl on stage, what we're looking for is we're looking for an overall look, an overall package. We don't want to see her walk on stage and we see one thing. If you walk on stage and all I see is your red lip, you did something wrong. If you walk on stage and all I see is your suit, you did something wrong. Right? I want to see an entire package. Right? I want to see an entire package. You're welcome. Yes, there you go. So, that's the bottom line when it comes to details. Right? If you're looking at something on your overall package and you're not quite sure if it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, if you're not quite sure, first talk to your coach. If they're still not quite sure, then it's probably not the right solution. You want to see something and be like, boom, yep, that's it. That's it. If you can't say that, there's probably a better solution. Keep working until you find whatever works for you perfectly. Right? The haircut above the glutes makes a huge difference. Saw a lot of hair extensions covering the booty during the Arnold Amateur. And I didn't watch the Arnold Amateur, but it does make a difference regardless. That is a detail that across the board you don't want to have happen. You don't want to have your hair covering your glutes ever, right? If it's touching your glutes at all, trim it. Trim it. This was a trend that started happening again because of wellness. A lot of wellness girls, pro wellness girls, were coming out on stage with their hair touching their glutes, and that created a bit of a backlog in that trend. And I'm not. Nobody's a fan of that because it covers up the part of the physique that we're trying to judge. You know what I mean? So if you have hair that is covering your glutes, then you need to trim it. Great example is Marissa Wu. That was one thing I mentioned about her in her last showing. Not this last show, remember before that last year. I mentioned that her glutes were actually covering her glutes a little, or her hair was covering her glutes a little bit on the top, and she needed to trim it about an inch. She hates cutting her hair. So when she actually went in for her next show, she actually put up an Insta story talking about how she was covering or cutting her hair for me. So I appreciated that. But it's just a thing. We need to be able to see the actual physique part that we are judging. You know what I mean? Like that's part of it, right? Sometimes too, you may even want it a little above the glutes so you can see how small the waist turns from the back if that's a strength for you. Yes, agree. Absolutely. When it comes to the hair in the back, I'm a big fan of the U shape because it draws the eye down and in towards the lower back. Which then makes you look smaller through the lower back, right? Longer hair is not necessarily a good thing. Thicker and bigger hair is not necessarily a good thing. You got to have it so that it complements your physique. Like we were talking about Raven earlier, she can't wear big hair because it covers her shoulders, and then we don't see her shoulders. And she's bigger on the bottom as it is, so we need to be able to see her shoulders as much as possible, right? Do you recommend at least having added the bikini tie in the back? I remember really like first show and the extension second show, wondering if it's worth doing each time. In general, yes. I want the hair to be longer. But again, like I was talking about Brandi earlier, every person is going to be a little bit different. And if that person can pull off a different look, then pull off the different look. There's nothing saying that you can't. Good example is top 6, top 5 at the Arnold, Jordan. Jordan's hair is right at her shoulders. And she placed 5th at the Arnold. Right? She didn't cover her back. It worked for her. Right? An amateur girl at the Arnold had her hair so long that it actually covered half of her glutes. She won her pro card. I was like, oh no. Her physique must have been that good. Right? Her physique must have been that good. So, hey, everybody, some people are going to get away with it. You know what I mean? Seeing these random, move. There we go. Random spam comments. Go away. There we go. That's the first. Anyway, what else? Any other details? So my point in this whole live feed that we're talking about right now is details matter for you, specifically for you, right? It may not be the best solution for somebody else. And you want your entire package to complement, nothing to distract or detract, right? There is an exception to every rule. Absolutely. There's an exception to every rule. Talking about Ashley Kaltwasser again, she's a competitor that can compete multiple times throughout the year. Most people can't do that. She's the exception to the rule, right? Don't ever try to be the exception to the rule. You just either are or you're not. There's one or the other. Like I said with Brandi's hair and everything like that, I thought that Brandi's hair was beautiful with the shaved and bleach blonde. But if I did that, I would look like a crazy person. Right? So no part of the sport should be cookie cutter. Right. Right. So if you guys didn't see the thumbnail that I put up, there's a thumbnail of the top 6 at the Arnold. And again, every single one of them in that top 6 looked completely different from the others. Like nobody looked the same. Not even close. Which I thought was really cool to see. I thought that was really cool to see. I do remember seeing the amateur with the super long hair and her back close to the end of her hair was almost swooped around her right hip, so her glutes still showed. It was interesting for sure, but she made sure it was moved for her back pose. Hey, if she moved it out of the way, cool. As long as we can see that, as long as we can see those glutes, that's all that matters, right? As long as she moved it out of the way. I was going to say that I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I didn't know which competitor was being referred to at this point. But if you can see the part of her physique you're trying to judge, then you can see the part of your physique you're trying to judge, right? And the bikini bite the second time and not the first. It ended up ripping off some of my tan, and they covered it. But do the judges not worry about any of that? I can see it in my pictures, so I didn't know if they can see. Yes, tan matters. 100% tan matters. If it's distracting, 100% tan matters. Just like your hair color matters, your hair look, like health of your hair matters, your makeup matters. All of those things, they matter. Absolutely. You know, one of the things I mentioned in our wrap up of the Arnold was Maureen had a little bit of muddiness on her glutes at prejudging in her tan. I noticed that. It was a little muddy. It looked like she'd sat in it, is what it looked like. It was fixed for finals. But I noticed it. So if I noticed it, I'm sure the judges noticed it. Yes, it absolutely matters. Tan absolutely matters. It's a good indicator that you have too much glaze on. Well, hopefully whoever's glazing you knows what they're doing. I have had a scenario where I had my coach at the time glazed me, and it was way too much. I looked like an oil slick. A lot of times you got to know what show you're going into as well, because the lighting will make a difference. Like that was the Pittsburgh Pro, and the lighting there was notoriously bad, as far as like hot light at the top. So I looked like an oil slick on the top. It was bad because I was closer to the lights, so it was really bad. So my coach at the time didn't know what he was doing, basically. So hopefully you get somebody that knows what they're doing. I noticed that I mentioned right the other night in your live the muddiness on Maureen's glutes. Yeah, I noticed it. So all that stuff matters, especially when you're getting to that level. Like all those little things like that definitely matter. They definitely matter. So would you recommend to not do the bikini bite if that happened for you previously? So here's the thing. If you have a really good fitting suit, you shouldn't need bikini bite. The only time that I have girls use bikini bite when they're in one of my suits is if they have to keep their chest up. Like there's a way to glue your breasts up into your suit so that gives you cleavage. That's really the only time that my girls have to wear bikini bite. So if you're wearing bikini bite, you might need a better fitting suit. Just saying. So that would be my suggestion. I never wear bikini bite. Most of my girls don't. The second time and didn't get it taken in, and make sure you do that next time. Yeah. If you get a Shawn's Couture suit, you won't need a bikini bite. That's right. Because they're even adjustable. So if you are leaner, you can tighten it up. Even backstage before you go on, you can tighten it up. So, yep, there you go. They'll be looking at your suits. I love it. Yep, absolutely. That's why I make those hip straps adjustable for reasons just like that. That's the look, just saying, right? That's my just saying look. Yep, it's true. And those details matter. You'll see it when the suits don't fit you correctly and things like that. I noticed that on one of the girls in wellness. I won't say who it is. I don't want to call them out and embarrass them or anything like that. But I noticed that on her the back cut of her suit when I was looking at videos of her. And, they do these really cool videos at Arnold where it's really like 3D and awesome and all of that. And her suit did not fit her in the back, and it was raised up off of her glutes. I was like, that needs to be tightened. What about bikini weight for figure to get the side straps to stay higher? Well, sometimes that's a thing, but again, with my suits, I put elastic on the inside. That's a gripping elastic, so my girls don't need them. Straps on the figure suits, on my suits, are adjustable, so you can do them tighter or looser, and then they have gripping elastic on the inside, so you don't need bikini weight. That's what I do. I find a problem and I fix it. That's what I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. I noticed that. Yeah, with the bikini. Yep, the bottoms. See, Shawn thinks of everything. I do. I've been doing this a little while, you guys. I've been in this sport for just a little while. I've seen it all. So I can't say that I can fix everything out there, but I fix a lot of things. Just ahead of time, so you don't have to worry about it by show day. I do fix a lot of things. So, what else? Anything else you guys can think of that are details that would matter? Details that would matter. Give it a couple more minutes. See if there's anything else anybody wants to chime in with. But yeah, the main point that I'm making here, you guys, is that the details matter for you individually. So just because somebody else has it, just because somebody else is doing it, does not mean that you should. Okay? You got to remember that these details are important to you. Right? Oh, we got a couple of shoe questions. What do you think about sparkly heels versus clear? So, and then we got nails. We got a couple of nail questions, and we got a couple of shoe questions that just came in. That's too funny. So when it comes to the sparkly heels and things like that, I tend to say reserve the sparkles for when you hit the pro stage. Not to say you can't wear them when you're on the NPC stage, but I do know there are some judges that don't like it. As far as going overboard with the bling on the shoes, I have heard that as critiques. Pro stage, you can do it, no problem. NPC stage, I would say I would refrain from the sparkles unless they are like the basic rhinestones in the heels. But if you're questioning it at all, I would go with just plain heels. If you're questioning it at all, straps versus no straps on the ankle doesn't matter. I personally like without the straps better. That's me personally. I walk better, all of those kinds of things. But it doesn't make a difference when it comes to your actual judging. It's a matter of which ones you pose in best. It doesn't matter if they're 4-inch heels or if they're 5-inch heels. It makes no difference. What matters is that you can walk and pose in them. That is the key with any shoe that you choose. Doesn't matter how pretty that shoe is. If you can't walk and pose in them, they're not the right shoe for you. Okay? Doesn't matter. But like I said, if you're questioning it at all, go with a plain shoe. Just go with a plain shoe. Okay? Some judges don't like the bling. Don't match your bling on your shoes to your suit. Don't add bling to your shoes. If the shoes don't come with bling already, don't put more on. All of those kinds of things, right? Polishes, yes. You don't want anything that's going to be distracting, right? Nail polish on the toes or the fingers. Nothing that's going to be distracting. This kind of thing, perfect. It's neutral. Go neutral. At the end of the day, if you're questioning it at all, go neutral. Pinks, peaches, French is always good. Anything like that is not going to be distracting on both the fingers and the toes. Nothing neon. If your suit's blue, don't paint your toes and your fingers blue, okay? Don't do that. It's distracting. Always go back to, is this distracting or does it add to my package? Always, okay? Sandy states that she doesn't even look at anyone's feet. Right. Most of these judges don't look at the feet. I will say that I've had male judges tell me that they notice when the toes are hanging over the edges of your shoes. So make sure your shoes fit too, because I have had male judges tell me. So I asked that question. I said, tell me something that a regular judge isn't going to tell me, right? something, anything. And they said the toes hanging over the edge of the shoes. So just make sure your shoes fit you. Just make sure your shoes fit you. We talked about jewelry earlier. True, I tried the Olympians for Saul and just couldn't walk in them. Yeah, if you can't walk in them, then they're not the right shoe for you. That's it. Bottom line, then they're not the right shoe for you, right? So the jewelry don't match your jewelry to your suit, right? I mean, to an extent. Again, I've seen some girls wear like a blue suit with some blue rhinestones in their bracelet or something like that. That's fine. That's fine. You don't want it to be too much, but at the same time, again, compliment. Always think compliment. Nothing that's, you don't want a statement bracelet. You want a statement physique, right? Oh, my shoe fairy heel is best posing as ever. Oh, that distraction in an odd way. I've noticed the toes over the shoes. Yes. You got to remember, this is something that the judges will tell you. The first thing that they see when you walk out on stage is your shoes, is your feet. So if they're getting hit in the face with the blinging from the rhinestones, it's not a good thing. They've actually said that at like posing workshops and things like that. So, so a lot of these judges are not a huge fan of the rhinestones. Now, again, if you're a pro, you can do whatever you want, right? If you're a pro, you can do whatever you want. If you're NPC, always err on the side of caution in NPC, right? Should people of darker skin tones tan less or just as much, or depends? It totally depends on the person. I mean, obviously, I'm a very light-skinned girl, so I need like 3-4 coats in order to be dark enough. If you're a dark-skinned girl, you're probably not going to need as much tan as I am. You probably need 2 coats versus 4, you know, that kind of thing. It's going to depend on the person. But I have seen some dark-skinned girls not tan enough as well. I've seen them think that they can get away with less tan, and actually they need more. So always remember, what I try to tell people about the tan is it's not even about your color of your skin tone, but it's the depth and the opacity of the actual tan itself. If you think about your skin being like the canvas and the tanning solution being like the paint, okay, you've got to put layers of paint on the canvas in order to cover the canvas. You're covering the canvas regardless of what color that canvas is. Regardless of what that color of that canvas is, you need to cover it, right? So you still need tan. Okay, I've noticed that. Yep. So yes, you do need tan, and hopefully you've got a good tanning person that is going to tell you if you need more, right? It's going to tell you if you need more. Like I said, for me, if I'm doing a Saturday show, I start my tan on like Thursday. I need a lot. I need 4 coats. So it just is what it is. I wanted to mention one other thing with the crystals too, as far as the suits are concerned. Crystalling will not make or break your placing. It won't. Anybody that tells you that it will is lying to you. The only reason why crystalling would make a difference is if you put these light colored white crystals on your suit and you look like a disco ball. That's it. Okay. Crystals are more about adding that final touch that makes you feel amazing. And as long as it complements your suit color, you're good. Okay. So it's kind of that same concept of when you get an engagement ring, a cubic zirconium versus a diamond, right? You're just going to feel better with the diamond on. Right? It's not going to make a difference, though. At the end of the day, you're still married, whether you've got a diamond or a cubic zirconium. You're still married. Makes sense? All right. Anything else? I think we covered everything, all the details. I think we covered everything. Amen. Yes, one of my first show with a $100 suit that has 0 crystals. Yeah. If you got the physique, that's it. That's it. Yep. And again, it's just a matter of, like I said, it's the difference between diamond and cubic zirconium. At the end of the day, you're still married, right? So, but of course, we all want the diamond, right? We all want the diamonds. Like, yeah, hook that bitch up. Yep, as long as the suit fits right. Yep, as long as the suit fits right. That's right. And then it's a good color combo for you too. Yep. Keep smiling on stage before you turn. A smiling on stage before you turn. Yes, smile. Always smile. Yes. We do want the diamonds. Yes, absolutely. We want the diamonds. Just being real. Just being real. Okay, well, that was good. That was good, you guys. Hopefully, we got my point across here for you guys tonight. You not be married anymore. Thought it was a diamond. If you thought it was a diamond and you got a cubic zirconium, yeah, you might not be married anymore. That's true. That is true. Hair color, style, doesn't matter. Like we talked about at the beginning of this, doesn't matter on your hair color. Doesn't matter as long as it compliments you. How long should the hair ideally be? We talked about that earlier. So again, if you're missing any, if I said we talked about this earlier, when this re-uploads, go back and watch because we did talk about it. We talked about that. All right. Anything else? If that's it for tonight, guys, then that is it for our live feeds this week. Surgical enhancements, Botox, that doesn't matter. It's up to the person. If it's not something you can build, then it's not for bodybuilding. It doesn't matter. It's injections. Plastic surgery, that's not something that you can build, right? Yeah, rewatch the first portion. Yep, there you go. We will be back on Monday. I'm trying to get my studio completely done in the next couple of days here and get the house moved and all that kind of stuff. So this is our last live feed for this week. Watch the Boston Pro live stream this weekend. I'm going to try and do that myself. I've got clients all day, so I might not be able to get to watch all of it, but I'm going to try. And with that, I hope you guys all had a great week. This was fun. We'll come back on Monday, and if we have pictures and stuff from Boston, we'll go ahead and review Boston on Monday. But we're rolling right into the season, which means we are getting a lot of shows coming up. So hold on tight because the BSPNs will be coming back very, very fast. Love the flooring you have on posing. Thank you. It's just vinyl. It's the luxury vinyl flooring. Luxury vinyl flooring is what I have. All right, you guys, that is it. I'm going to log off of YouTube first. And then